PTX Thermal Hunter, coming at y'all today to talk about the InfiRay Iray USA Rico MK1 RH35. This is Iray USA's 35mm 640 resolution Rico. It's a 35mm focusable objective. It's got a 640 by 480 resolution on 50 hertz and 12 microns thermal core. It's got an adjustable eyepiece, focusable eyepiece, as well as a focusable objective lens right here by this focus knob. I'll give you a quick overview of the buttons. You've got your power button, your zoom in button, zoom out button, your menu button to access the menus, and then your button to capture video and image capture. It's got a built-in proprietary battery that's replaceable. The battery life on this gets a minimum of 6 hours, probably upwards closer to 10 hours. Great battery life on this scope. You can buy extra batteries if you need to replace them. It also has a USB-C port right here that allows you can power the scope from that as well. It has a built-in Picatinny rail. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. That allows you to add other accessories, specifically the Iray USA LRF 1000. It's their attachable rangefinder for the Rico models. So that's a really nice feature. We'll go a little bit more in detail. It's got a really nice protective objective lens cap. Also comes with a really great mount. Comes with an American Defense QD mount. Zoom in on that so you can see that. These are great mounts, really reliable for when you take them off, put them back on the scope. They hold zero really well. A couple things I want to go over. Like I said, it's a 35mm objective lens. It has a 5-year warranty through InfiRay USA, or Iray USA, excuse me. It's got a detection range of 1,975 yards. It's rated up to a 300 Win or 7mm mag caliber. It's got built-in picture-in-picture, built-in video recording, and image capture. It's got built-in Wi-Fi. Built-in Wi-Fi allows you to connect to the InfiRay Outdoors mobile app. Talk a little bit more about that in a second. It's got built-in standby mode, so if you go ahead and you click these two buttons at the same time, the power button and the zoom button at the same time, once the scope's powered on, it'll put it into standby mode. It's got a one-shot zero. So this one-shot zero allows you to go ahead and take a shot through their zeroing profiles, and once you take your shot, you can go ahead and do a freeze frame of where your point of impact was, and then go ahead and make your adjustments in the scope to your point of impact, and then go ahead and save those, and it goes ahead and makes your adjustments and gets your scope zeroed for you. Then you can take a follow-up shot if you feel like you need to, verify that your zero is on target. It is $4,999, so about right at the $5,000 range mark. Like I said, for the scope and the mount that you get and all the features, that's a very good price for the 640 scope. It's a 2-power base magnification with 4-power digital zoom, so it goes from 2 to 8 power on your magnifications. It's a great range for hog hunting and close coyote hunting, things like that, especially in smaller fields. But also, with it being a 640 resolution scope, being able to zoom in on those, to 4-power, 6-power, 8-power, you do degrade when your image quality when you zoom in, but this zooms very well, and the image quality is very good when you zoom in. It is a very quality scope. I've thoroughly enjoyed hunting with it over the last couple months. I've been able to hunt hogs and coyotes in West Texas as well as around East Texas, and honestly, I've really enjoyed hunting this scope. I'm going to be kind of sad when I have to give it back after being done testing it and doing reviews on it. But this is one of those 640 resolution scopes that I've had the pleasure of hunting with that I've really enjoyed. It's probably on the top of my list of scopes I've enjoyed hunting with. It's a direct competitor of the Thermion 2 XP50. They're the same price, have a lot of the same features. One thing that I think this scope has that the Thermion doesn't have the flexibility is the ability to, like I said earlier, add on a rangefinder to the scope. So if you buy a scope and you realize, man, I really wish I would have got a scope that had a built-in rangefinder on it, this allows you to do that. On the Iray USA Rico is that the white hot color palette on this scope looks exceptional. I mean, the image quality is sharp, crisp, details are very vivid. These scopes, I think, excel in weather that other scopes have a hard time excelling in. When it's really humid or it's wet out or things like that, these scopes, the image quality of the white hot just looks exceptional. I mean, they do really well in not pristine conditions. I would say a con of this scope is I don't think the black hot mode color palette on this one or the red hot look that great. I mean, they're usable and they're okay. They're just not something that I choose to use. I think they could be improved a little bit. The color palette looks great. The highlight palette, color palette looks really good. but my favorite is the white hot. The white hot on this scope looks outstanding. Another kind of pro I'll go into just Iray USA in general is these scopes come with a 5-year warranty. So when you're spending $5,000 on a scope, you have some insurance and some, good feelings that, hey, if something goes wrong, I got 5 years worth of warranty where Iray USA will take care of it and help me get my scope repaired or fixed or replaced or whatever the case may be. So that's a huge pro for having, for going with the Iray USA scopes in general. But it's, having a $5,000 Rico 5-year warranty, that's a great perk. Also, these scopes come with a 32 gig internal storage. So if you're someone that likes to capture content or just capture videos and images as you hunt so you can remember them, share them with others, 32 gigs of space is a lot of space to be able to capture content. And we're going to talk about the connectivity to the app. The InfiRay Outdoor app is a huge pro. It's a great app. Like I said earlier, you can connect your scope, you can do recordings through there, you can move your content, your videos back and forth from the scope to your app, to your phone, so you can share them, as well as your images. You can set up settings, you can view the scope through the app. All these things are great. This does record audio, and when you record video, it records audio. It's not the best audio. You can hear the shot, but a lot of the background sounds and stuff are kind of muffled or hard to hear on the scope. A couple things that I think that I also really like about this, I really like the focusable objective knob on this. I think it's really easy to use since it's in the central location on top of the scope for right and left. It's the tactile is really easy to use. It's pretty tight, so it's really easy to fine tune your image as you're kind of trying to focus it. So you don't typically overshoot and come back. You can get it tuned really, really quickly. I like that. I'm a left-handed shooter, so having things in the center of the scope makes it really easy for someone using my rifle that they're right-handed or me being left-handed. So really think that's a perk as well. Just a couple cons, like I kind of mentioned, and we'll highlight them, is not really a huge fan of the black hot color palettes or the red hot color palettes. And another thing, that the startup time on these scopes is slower than I would like. If you're the type of person that keeps your scope off and you're using a binocular or your scanner or doing something else, and you're going to turn your scope on right before you're shooting, you need to be aware this scope takes about 10 seconds to power up and be ready to shoot. So in the heat of the moment, 10 seconds may be too long. But one thing you can do to get around that is using the standby mode. And the standby mode allows you to turn your scope on, and then you can press these two buttons, like I said earlier. Put it in standby mode, everything's ready to go. Once you're ready to turn your scope back on, press those two buttons again. It turns it instantly back on, ready to fire. No wait time, no lag, no anything. You're ready to go. It saves your battery life too for long nights of hunting. So I think that's a great feature. Another thing I was going to say about a pro is the battery life. I mentioned it earlier, but it says a minimum of 6 hours. I hunt many nights on one single charge, and I hunt 3 or 4 hours a night. Now I do turn my scope on and off because I'm using binocular as well, but this scope has a great battery life. I was thoroughly impressed with the battery life on this scope. Also with the flexibility of using replaceable batteries, rechargeable replaceable batteries, that's great too. You can also run a power pack to power it. So all those things allow this scope to have very long life in the field when you're trying to hunt for many, many hours in a row. I think it's a great pro to this scope. So I'm gonna give you one quick walk around, just one more view of the scope, and then we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. So, final thoughts, it's a great scope for $5,000. It's a great 640 scope. 2 power base magnification on this is exceptional. I don't think you'll be disappointed with this scope by any means. It's very comparable to Pulsar Thermion 2 640 resolution scopes. Like I said, it's got a lot of pros, not that many cons. If you're interested in knowing more about this, drop a comment in this video. Feel free to answer them, or you can go ahead and reach out to outdoorlegacygear.com, read the reviews on it. You can purchase it from the website there. You can also find me on Instagram at ETX Thermal Hunter. I post a lot of content from the videos, from the scopes I'm testing. There's a lot of videos out there on the Rico that I've done. I'll be putting another how to sight in this scope as well, be coming out on my YouTube channel, so check that out. Really appreciate y'all's time watching this video today. Check out some more videos on my YouTube channel. Please go check out me on Instagram at ETX Thermal Hunter. See my content there. Again, I really appreciate y'all's time. Y'all stay safe in the fields, and God bless.